Join Kids Hut family.
What's the matter, Tofu?
This maths project is so difficult. I don't see a point in doing something so difficult.
But you'll fail if you don't do it, Tofu.
I think it's better to fail than to take this much trouble, Tia.
Imagine if Elisa had thought so too.
I'm sure her project wasn't this difficult.
Once upon a time, there lived a king. He had 11 sons and a daughter called Elisa. The boys loved their sister dearly, and the girl adored her brothers. Everything was lovely and peaceful in the kingdom, till one day, the king summoned his children.
Children, I have something to tell you.
What is it, Father?
I have been very lonely since your mother's death, and I have decided to get married again. Your new mother will be very nice and she will love you immensely.
Soon after this, the king married a beautiful woman. But what he didn't know was that the woman was a wicked witch who had no intentions of loving the children. The children discovered this the very first time they met her.
Oh no, Mother hates us. What will we do?
Don't worry, my brothers. We'll be fine as long as we have each other.
But the new queen had other plans for them.
I don't want to see these children around me anymore. I will get rid of them immediately.
She arranged for Elisa to be sent to live far away with a farmer and his wife. And she made up some mean lies about the 11 boys, forcing the king to banish them from the kingdom. Once alone with the boys, she cursed them.
I will make sure that even if you come back to this kingdom and castle, no one will recognize you. I curse you all to turn into ugly birds.
But the boys were so good at heart that the evil spell did not work on them. Instead, they turned into 11 beautiful swans. Before the witch could do anything, they all flew away. Time passed and Elisa turned 15 years old. For her birthday, she could meet the king.
I must keep the daughter and father away from each other. I don't want the foolish king to bring her back into the castle.
So she used one of her tricks and turned Elisa into a very ugly girl.
When the king saw her, he was furious. My Elisa was really beautiful. Who is this fraud pretending to be my daughter? Throw her out of the castle.
The soldiers did as commanded. And threw Elisa out of the castle. Heartbroken, Elisa wandered into the forest.
I wish my brothers were here with me. I am so lonely without them.
As Elisa walked through the jungle, she came upon a pond. She stopped there. As she washed her face with the pond's water, the witch's trick wore off, and Elisa turned into her beautiful self again. She was just sitting there when an old lady approached her.
What are you doing in the jungle, my dear?
I am looking for 11 princes. They are my brothers. Have you seen them?
I haven't seen 11 princes, but I have seen 11 beautiful swans with crowns on their heads. If you hurry, you might still find them by the riverbank.
Elisa thanked the old woman and rushed to the river. After a few hours of walking, she came upon the river. As she stood there looking for her brothers, she saw 11 white swans approaching. They landed just near her and turned one by one into a prince.
Brothers, I am so happy to see you all. It's me, Elisa. Sister, you found us. We thought we'd lost you forever. I'm so happy to see you all, but what had happened to you? The witch cursed us. During the day we fly around like wild swans, but at night we come back to our human form. Each year we can go home once and visit the castle. We will be leaving for the castle once again tomorrow. You must come with us, sister. Yes, brother, I will come with you all. But I must also find a way to free you from this terrible curse.
The next morning, the swans asked Elisa to sit on a net. Then they picked up the nets in their beaks and flew towards the castle. They flew the whole day and halted near a cave at night. Tired, they all fell asleep very soon. As Elisa slept, she dreamt of a fairy who looked like the old woman from the forest.
To break the curse on your brothers, you must pluck the sharp nettle from the graveyard near this cave. Crush it and knit a cloak with it for each one of them. But you must not say a single word till your entire task is complete. Otherwise, your brothers will die. But you must know that this won't be an easy task. It will prick and hurt and make your hands bleed. Elisa woke up in the morning, determined to save her brothers.
The swans had all gone out to collect food. So she made her way to the graveyard and plucked the nettle. It pricked and cut her hands badly. But she did not care. She just wanted to save her brothers. She brought the nettle back to the cave and started doing what the fairy had instructed. A little mouse saw what she was doing and decided to help her. At night, the princess returned to the cave. And saw Elisa working with the nettle. Her hands were bleeding.
What's going on, Elisa? What are you doing? Why won't you answer us, Elisa? Are you okay?
But Elisa wouldn't answer because she knew she mustn't say a word till her task was over.
I think she has taken up a task and will not talk till it is over.
The boys decided not to disturb her anymore. Instead, they brought food and water for her and fed her with their own hands while she kept on knitting the clothes. This went on for many days. Elisa kept working on the cloaks, even though her hands pained and hurt her. The little mouse also continued to help her. They made one cloak after the other till only one more cloak was left to be completed. But Elisa had run out of nettle for it, so she headed to the graveyard for more. As she was plucking the nettle, she became surrounded by a handsome prince and his men.
Hello, what are you doing here in a graveyard? Can I help you?
Elisa did not answer him.
How dare you defy the prince? Answer him now. Stop it. Forgive me, my lady. I can see that perhaps you can't talk. And looking at your hands, I think you need some rest and medical care. Let me and my men escort you to my castle, where you will be taken care of.
The prince had fallen in love with Elisa, and to take care of her, he took her to the castle. Elisa had no choice but to go with him. She could not speak and explain her situation to him. Though she was completely taken care of at the castle, Elisa was not happy. She wept dearly because she worried for her brothers.
I cannot understand your sadness, so I sent my men back to where I had met you. They found these cloaks in the cave nearby. I had them bring these here for you. I think they belong to you.
For the first time in many days, Elisa felt happy. Now she just needed to complete the last cloak and find her brothers somehow. So that night, she sneaked out of the castle and went back to the graveyard to pluck the nettle. There was some noise behind her. She was surprised to see the prince there.
What are you doing here? My men warned me that you are a witch. Who works with nettle from a graveyard? I did not believe them, but now I do.
Your punishment for being a witch is death. Once again, Elisa was taken away from the graveyard. But this time, she was put in a jail cell. Her death sentence would be carried out the next morning. Just then, her cell door opened. It was a soldier with all the nettle cloaks.
Here, keep all this junk with you.
Elisa felt terrible. The last cloak was half complete, but she had no more nettle. She didn't know what to do. Just then, the little mouse appeared at her cell window. He had brought nettle with him. Elisa quickly took the nettle from him and got to work. The mouse scurried back to the graveyard to get some more. Both of them worked together through the night. By the time the soldiers came to take Elisa away, she had readied the 11th cloak too.
It is time for your punishment. Get into that cart outside.
Elisa followed the instructions and she took the cloaks with her. She kept hoping to see the swans one last time. Right then, the 11 white swans came and sat around her. Elisa quickly threw the cloaks on them, and one by one, each swan turned into a prince.
Let go of her. She is a princess. Yes, she is our sister and she is innocent. I have completed my task and I can speak now. I am not a witch, but I was working to free my brothers from the witch's curse. Her brothers explained the whole situation to the prince.
I am sorry. I misunderstood you. It would be my honor to marry someone as brave and determined as you. So the prince and Elisa got married. Then all of them went to Elisa's father and told him the truth about the witch. The king had the witch punished by death and welcomed his children back home. So you see, Tofu, sometimes a task may be painful and hard, but if you stick to it, results will come.
Yes, I see that now. And I also see that sisters are the best.
Hey Tofu, what are you up to?
Nothing much. Just watching TV.
Oh cool. Are you done with your homework already?
We didn't have much homework today. We just have a research assignment.
I'm impressed. So you finished your research work so soon?
Oh no, I haven't. It's a big assignment, so we have to do it in pairs. My partner is Kate. She's really good with research, so I passed it all off to her. She will write the paper and bring it tomorrow.
I don't know what to say, Tofu.
You can say which game you want to play.
How about I tell you a story instead?
Oh, I love your stories. Please tell me one.
This one is about the horse and the donkey, where the horse doesn't bother to help the donkey. Once upon a time, there was a poor washerman. All he had was a donkey and a horse. He would use the donkey to carry the load of clothes from the village to the river and back. While he would use the horse for himself to go wherever he needed to. The horse enjoyed an easy life, carrying only his master, while the poor donkey did all the hard work. One day, the washerman went to the village to collect clothes from people.
Hello, are there any clothes you want to give for washing today? Yes, I have. Thank you. Hello, how are you today? I am good, thank you. Do you have any clothes for washing? Yes, I am glad you came. We have too many guests today and excess laundry too. Don't worry, I will have them back in time. Thank you.
And so the washerman went from door to door collecting clothes for washing. Then he loaded everything onto his donkey.
We have a big job in front of us today. We have more clothes to wash than every other day. We'll have to hurry up.
As soon as he got the donkey loaded up, they started moving towards the river. The washerman decided to walk besides the horse and the donkey. But the load was too much for the donkey to carry, so he got very tired. When they were halfway through to the river, the washerman decided to stop to get some rest. He too was tired, having walked all the way instead of riding the horse as usual. That's when the donkey decided to talk to the horse. Horse, can you please help me? This load is too heavy to carry. Since the master is walking today and you have no burden to carry, can you take some of mine? I am here to serve my master, not you. It's not my job to carry the load. It's yours and you alone must do it. The donkey had no choice but to carry the burden of the clothes all alone. So he continued walking slowly when they resumed their journey. But after some time, the weight became too much for him and he collapsed. He tried to get up again but just couldn't. Oh no! What's wrong with my donkey? Let me get his weight off him first. The caring washerman removed the bags and bundles of clothes from the donkey.
Oh, these bags are very, very heavy. It was wrong of me to put them on the donkey alone. Now he is very tired. He will not be able to carry this burden anymore. I will put everything on the horse.
Saying so, he put all the bags and bundles on the back of the horse.
Let's give the donkey some rest today.
They started walking again towards the river. As they walked, the horse realized what a mistake he had made.
This is so heavy. I wish I had not been so selfish earlier. If I had shared the donkey's load when he asked me to, I wouldn't have to carry all this by myself. From now on, I will always share the burden.
So you see, Tofu, it's always more sensible to share the burden than to not help others.
Yes, I agree with you, Tia. In fact, if I help Kate out, we will be able to finish the work faster as well, and both will be free soon.
That's right, Tofu. So you see, sharing the burden of work has many advantages. You must go and help Kate out.
Tia, where are you?
I am here, Tofu. What happened?
Tia, you keep on teaching me new morals through different stories. Today I'll tell you a story that our teacher taught us in class.
Oh, really? I'm so eager to listen to it. The Dog and the Bone. Once upon a time, in the dark alleys of a small village, there lived a dog. He was a stray dog who had to live on anything that he found on the streets, in the bins, or at the mercy of the people who would feed him every now and then. One day, while passing by a butcher's shop, he saw that there was no one to attend the shop. He entered the shop and his eyes popped out when he saw juicy chicken, lamb, pork, and turkey hanging. It was far from his reach, so he went around the cabinets to look for something.
I hope I could find something to eat here.
He went around sniffing and looking for it, and suddenly he saw a juicy big bone. He started drooling and said,
My day is made. This would surely fill up my tummy.
He bounced at it and grabbed it in his mouth. I'll eat this juicy bone in a quiet place where no one else would be able to take it away from me. So the lean dog very happily took the bone and looked for a secluded place. He crossed the village and entered the woods. While he was trying to cross a river, he stopped and looked at his reflection in the river. He was quite surprised at what he saw. He saw his own reflection and thought,
Oh my God, there is another dog with an equally juicy bone. It looks yum too.
I got to have that bone as well. And the moment the greedy dog decided to bark at the other dog, the bone fell in the river.
Oh, what have I done? It was my reflection in the water, and the greed made me lose my bone too.
He went away in sorrow, with surely a lesson to be learned. Wow, Tofu! That surely was a beautiful story. So what do you think is the moral of the story?
Being greedy is not good because a bird in hand is worth 3 in the bush. Why is that young man helping that man to cross the road?
That's because he's blind and needs help to cross the road.
Oh, how nice of that man to help him.
Yes, it's always good to help others.
Why, Tia?
Come, Tofu, and I'll tell you a story. The Dove and the Ant. One hot day, an ant was walking near a riverbank. The poor ant lost its balance and fell inside the water.
Help me! Please help me! Help me!
She screamed for help. As the flow of the river was too strong, she was carried away.
Someone
A dove was watching all this from a nearby tree. The ant was struggling for life in the water. The dove felt very sad for the little ant.
Help me! Please help me! Oh no! The little ant is in trouble!
And he decided to help her.
Help me! Please help me!
He said to the ant,
Don't worry, my friend. I will save you.
The dove quickly plucked off a leaf and dropped it into the water near the struggling ant. The ant moved towards the leaf and climbed up there, and the ant reached to the shore safely. The thankful ant said,
I will always be grateful to you for saving my life.
Few weeks later, the ant saw a bad hunter with a gun. The hunter was targeting at the dove sitting on the tree. Guessing what he was about to do, the ant quickly bit him on the heel.
Ouch! You pathetic ant! What have you done?
The ant walked away happily as she was able to help the dove in return. So Tofu, just the way Dove's good deed helped him to get out of danger by the ant, similarly, every good deed we do for others will surely come back to us.
I will always help the needy.
That's like a good boy, Tofu. What's wrong, Tofu?
I can't sleep.
Would a bedtime story help?
Yeah, I guess.
The Ugly Duckling. Once near a beautiful pond, there lived a handsome duck couple. They were very excited as the babies were about to get hatched from the eggs. The papa duck was so eager to see his babies that all he could do was roam here and there in anxiety. Suddenly, what they hear is sweet little quack quacks coming from the nest, and the papa duck just rushes to the nest to catch the first glimpse of his babies.
Oh my God! They are so lovely!
Suddenly, a hoarse quack comes from below Mama Duck. Quack!
You are so ugly and pale. You can't be our baby.
The papa and Mama Duck, along with their 4 babies, sail away, far away from the ugly duckling, leaving him behind in dismay and all alone. The poor duckling doesn't know what's wrong with him.
He checks his wings, his beak, his feet, but all looks fine. Suddenly, he turns around and sees his reflection in the pond. And what he sees sends him complete disappointment.
Nobody loves me. What would I do now? Where would I go?
The ugly duckling starts walking in complete sadness. So many days, weeks, and months pass by, and the poor ugly duckling wanders all alone in the deep forest. Suddenly, he stops and feels extremely cold.
Oh, it is so cold. I wish I had a warm house too.
Suddenly, a huge ball of snow comes rolling from behind, and the poor duckling gets caught in that and starts screaming for help. A woodcutter cutting the woods in a nearby place hears the scream of the duckling and runs for help.
Oh, poor thing. Come here. You need something warm to drink.
The woodcutter picks up the ugly duckling and keeps him in the warmth of his overcoat. He takes him home and keeps him wrapped in a warm blanket right in front of the fireplace.
Don't worry, poor little thing. I will take care of you.
And like this, many years pass by, and the ugly duckling grew under the care of the woodcutter. But one thing he made sure, never did he see his reflection again. One day, on a sunny afternoon, he was wandering around the sides of a lake. Suddenly, he sees a wedge of swans swimming in the pond.
Look at those swans. They are so beautiful. I wish I was a beautiful duck too. I have no friends because I'm so ugly. I feel oh so lonely.
To his amazement, he sees the wedge of swans coming towards him. What he sees is the most beautiful swan ever. Hey, we have never seen you around. Are you new here?
No, I live nearby with the woodcutter. It's just that I don't come out often.
Why is that so?
Because I'm an ugly duck. Nobody loves me. Nobody wants me.
Not to his surprise, he sees them laughing at him. He decides to turn back when suddenly he hears the voice of the beautiful swan. Wait, where are you going?
See, even you guys made fun of me. That's the reason I never come out.
We laughed because you call yourself a duck.
What do you mean?
Yes, you are not a duck. You are a swan. And I haven't seen such a handsome swan ever in my life. He couldn't believe of what he just heard and stood there in a state of shock. And after a few seconds, managed to say,
What?
The beautiful swan held the hand of the duck and took him near the pond. See yourself. You are a swan. The ugly duckling very reluctantly bends over the water because he doesn't want to see the ugly him. But what he sees leaves him in total disbelief. He is not a duck. He is a swan, a handsome young swan.
I am a swan.
He jumps and flies and swims in sheer happiness and then suddenly stops to thank the beautiful swan.
Thank you so much for making me know who I am.
So now that you know you are a swan, would you join our wedge? We would live together as a happy family.
Yes, I would love to do that.
And then the ugly duckling, oops, the handsome swan, jumps into the water with the rest of the swans and swims proudly with them.
So the poor duck was never a duck? A swan all throughout?
Yeah, and that's what the moral of the story is. A diamond doesn't know its worth till it's polished.
Aha!
Good night, Tofu. It's time to sleep now. For your favorite rhymes, stories, and more, join Kids Hut family. Subscribe here.